Hi guys, welcome back to Saving Salvage and welcome back to the channel. Right, in today's video it's a bit of a different one and a bit of a special one. A few videos ago I did say I was going to start doing walkarounds on cars that I collect and deliver, and today is my first walkaround spec check on a car, and I've kind of jumped straight in the deep end and gone for an Audi RS6. So as always guys, if you do enjoy these videos and you want to see more videos like these walkarounds, also my other projects, my salvage cars as well, please do like and subscribe, and also please do head over to my Instagram page as well, which is saving_salvage. I'll put it up there for you guys, so you can head over there and follow me on there as well. This is actually the first time I have seen an RS6 myself personally in the flesh as well. It's an absolute monster of a car. This is a launch edition, which means every Audi centre gets a specific spec car given to them, which is spec by Audi UK. That is what they call a launch edition. So this is a launch edition. So today we'll be going over the car, walk around the car, spec check it, and how much it can be on your drive for. So guys, stay tuned and let's check out the RS6. The Audi RS6. This is a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 with a mild hybrid system. It has 600 PS, which is mated to an 8-speed Tiptronic gearbox. What an absolute monster this car is. First time, as I was saying, first time I've seen one of these in the flesh myself. It just looks so much more aggressive than the previous RS6, if that was even possible. It almost looks like a concept car. Just the lines are so aggressive. Look how much it sticks out. I mean, just look how much this bumper bit sticks out here from the side profile of the car. And the diffuser, it's just an absolute animal. So as I was saying, this particular car is a launch spec edition, which means every centre gets a pre-selected car which has pre-selected options on it given to them to launch for the launch date of the car. Right, so I've got the spec sheet in front of me here, so let's just go through the specs of this special launch edition. So to start things off, I'm just going to read from the top of the list, so I'll just go through them. It's got a panoramic sunroof, and then we've got black styling package, which is obviously another indication is you have black mirror housing covers, you have the gloss black trims that go all the way around the car, gloss black side skirts, and then you've got the accents in the front and rear bumpers are also gloss black that run all the way around as well. So that's our gloss black exterior styling package. This car has a sports exhaust and top speed increase to 174 miles an hour. And again, sports exhaust is notable with the black exhaust tips. And again, there's the rear diffuser look, also in gloss black for the styling package. And And then we've got a solid paint Nardo grey, which is kind of really exclusive to RS cars, but you can order it in some other cars as an exclusive colour. But as a base colour, a standard colour, an RS car is the only car you can get them in. And a part of our gloss black package as well, we have gloss black. Actually, they're not gloss black, they're more like matte, sort of satin black roof rails. Red brake calipers. And they are the biggest calipers I've ever seen in my life. They are genuinely nearly 40 centimetres from top to bottom. It's well over a foot. Absolute monsters. They don't look that big on camera because the wheel doesn't make them look that big, but the wheels are actually also 22-inch alloys, so that just gives some indication of how big these discs are. So that's all the spec on the outside. We'll jump on the inside to check out some more. So just looking at the interior of the new RS6, if I'm honest, it doesn't look too dissimilar to a normal A6, as bad as that sounds. There's nothing really in here, apart from a few badges. You have RS logo in the back of the seat. You have an RS logo in the steering wheel here. You don't get an RS logo on the gear stick anymore, and it doesn't immediately come up here. No, nothing on RS on the dash anymore. So there isn't much to tell you that this is an RS. Just a couple of badges, and there was an RS6 badge on the kick plate as well on the sill. So it does unfortunately just look like a normal A6 on the interior. The seats you've got that honeycomb stitching on the seats and in the back as well. Again with your RS logo, which are heated and cooled, which you can tell by that you just got small little holes in the honeycomb stitching in the leather. So these are heated seats and they are air cooled. So what is pretty cool on this is you have an RS monitor. If you just click onto there, it actually gives you, it's quite hard to understand. It took me a couple of minutes to actually know what it was, because I thought you had loads of different options that you could check out, but it's actually just giving you an indication of how warm parts are. So you have, you've got obviously your brake discs, gear oil, sport diff, engine oil and coolant, and what it does is a little key down in the bottom left, and that key is for up to overheated and cold / unavailable, and it actually tells you how hot the actual each item is. So at the minute the radiator is warm, but everything else, engine, diff, brakes and gearbox, they're all cold. So that's actually a pretty cool key. So when you're just jumping in the car and you're about to take it out, you really probably want to get these just so they're nice and warm before you thrash the car. So that's quite a cool little quirk. Not sure it's 100% required, but it is pretty cool to see. And then you've got Audi Drive Select, where you can pick your RS. You can have specific RS setups, so you can individually choose what you want for each setting, and you can have up to 2 settings on this. And you can also, this has got air suspension as well, so you can raise and lower. I'm grateful it did have air suspension, because if it didn't, it wouldn't have fit on my trailer because it was too low. So luckily I was able to jack the car up to get it on. So if we head over to here on the virtual cockpit, this is pretty cool. We have an RS mode. So press that button and it gives you an RS specific rev counter. There's actually a pretty cool acceleration measurement on this. You get to choose your 0 to 100, 0 to 200, quarter mile times, which is pretty cool. And it also gives you your power and torque. Right, so now we're going to check out, see how this RS6 sounds. So we're going to start off in comfort. So it's in comfort now, which, to be fair, it's actually really quiet. You can barely hear it. Obviously the initial startup sounds good, but on idle there's not really much of a rumble to it. It's quite quiet. So unfortunately these have like a 3.5k rev limiter in neutral, so that is comfort. It does sound a little bit aggressive, but it actually really reminds me of the sound of the previous generation A6 bi-turbo diesel, strangely enough. It sounds very similar to that. So we're going to swap. So now I'm going to just swap it into dynamic. So there's a noticeable audio change, and the rev limiter has increased by 100 or 200 RPM, so it sounds a lot beefier now, and you can actually hear it on idle. So strange enough though, I don't know how it's coming across on camera, it doesn't actually sound hardly any louder when you rev it in dynamic. The previous generation it sounded noticeably louder and it cackled when you put it in dynamic mode, but this is really quite subtle. It doesn't sound as loud as I'd have thought it would. Definitely sounds louder on idle, no doubt about that, but when you rev it, it's not too dissimilar to comfort mode, which is rather disappointing. So with this being a launch spec edition, it was quite hard for me to price up the options, because the options that this car has you cannot necessarily get on an ordinary spec car. So if we just go on to, I have downloaded here, so we're going to RS6. So this doesn't have any carbon that I can see on it, and it doesn't mention carbon on the spec check, so this would just be a normal Avant. If we go trimline Avant, and then we go next, and then we go exterior, it's Nardo grey. So this is straight away one of the options that are different. You can't choose whether it has a black styling pack on here or not. So this has the optional 22-inch alloys which have black inserts, but on the app it will only let you choose the alloys but not with black inserts. So if we go interior, standard interior, and by the way, technology package on this is standard, it's not an option. Doesn't have full leather, doesn't have, see this is another thing, comfort and sound. So you cannot buy Bang & Olufsen separately, you have to buy it as part of the comfort and sound pack. But this car doesn't have keyless entry. It does have front and rear cameras, but it doesn't have side cameras. Without heated door lock cylinder, that's a new one, look. Never seen that before. So it's got Bang & Olufsen, it's got front and rear cameras, but it doesn't have keyless entry, and it doesn't have two side cameras. So I don't know whether to tick this or not for the options. So it's hard to do. I'll just tick it because it has the most expensive ones. Has folding mirrors. So you have to have a city assist pack, which it doesn't have, so deselect that. It has an RS sports exhaust system, so we can select that. And it doesn't have any of those options, it doesn't have carbon at all. Suspension, it has RS Sports Suspension Plus, so we can select that. It has red brake calipers, and that is it. And it has the top speed decreased to 174. So judging by this app, it's quite hard to price up because I haven't put on here black styling package. It wouldn't let me select that as an option. Actually we got panoramic roof as well, sunroofs, panoramic roof. So adding all those options on, getting the best I can, it brings us out to, focus, hello, it brings us out to a grand total of on the road of £103,415. Now that is a considerable price increase on the previous generation. I was lucky enough, my dad had the previous generation Audi RS6. If I have a picture of it, I'll stick it up now. It was a 2016 RS6 in Sepang blue with gloss black styling package. Now that he managed to get brand new from an Audi dealer for £73,000. and that had everything that this car has, spec wise, apart from the brake calipers. Everything else carries over, it has the same, and it didn't have the top speed increase to 174, but everything else that my dad's old car had, this car has also. So that is a price increase of £30,000, which is absolutely insane when you think. I'll put it into perspective, it's nearly 50% price increase. So guys, let me know in the comments, would you buy this car? And if you would, what spec would you go for? Put it in the comments below, let me know. Right guys, so there is my first ever spec check and walk around of a car on the channel. As I was saying, this is my first walk around, so it might be a bit naff how I've done it, how I've explained things, but I'm sure obviously with time it will only get better. So guys, if you did enjoy this video and you would like to see more videos, more walk around spec checks of any Audi Volkswagen car that I may go and collect, please do let me know in the comments as well. If you guys want to check out some of my other content, please do go onto my videos and have a look through some of the salvage projects that I've got currently ongoing and I have done in the past. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys.